live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. It's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Well, look at us.
Hola.
And it's Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
I'm back.
Hey,
I'm
excellent.
going to try really hard not to steal all your stories.
I don't have any stories for this week.
No? All right. Well, we'll work on that. First Dibs podcast.
I'm getting to enjoy tonight
Why?
because I just get to listen and hold a microphone and not pay attention to anything.
Oh,
besides-
isn't it nice for your only responsibility to be just sitting here? I agree.
Yes.
You had a hell of a week
yeah,
here at Porsche, Colorado Springs, home of the First Dibs podcast.
that's right.
Is that our new tagline? We, I think, had a wonderful week.
Yeah. I'm
busy,
glad
busy.
today's Friday.
Me too. I'm more glad tomorrow is Saturday. And I'm going to be super excited for Sunday. Feels like a long way away though, doesn't it?
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy early Father's Day.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else is Sunday?
That's it. Just, I'm not here.
Oh,
And
well,
not
okay.
that I don't love being here, but
Yeah.
I haven't been able to sleep. I've been waking up at like 5 a.m. and then getting in the shower and coming to work.
Well, you're in your 40s.
I know, but that's not the way it's supposed to work. And it's not because I have to pee. You know, it's not like I wake up and just have to
Right.
drain it. I'm up because the sun is awake and a bird says like, "Hey, want to see my pecker?"
Like your hummingbird imitation. Remember your hummingbird?
Oh yeah, that wasn't a hummingbird. That was, well, I don't remember what kind of bird it was, but yeah, it was checking out the.
Mama Green.
Was it Mamba Green? Yeah, Mamba Green Macan. When we drove up to the Arapahoe College car show, that was actually last weekend. This was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah, he was checking it out.
Checking
Liked
out the
it.
mirror.
Yep, nice work, buddy. But yeah, we had our ultimate test drive experience Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
I went to help on Tuesday morning, just get things set up, and then came here and did a couple deliveries, and then went and actually got to participate on Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday's the next day. See, this is why I need a nap.
Right.
And it was great. It was really cool. We rented out the Pikes Peak International Raceway and did some lead follow laps. Porsche brought some of their I don't want to call it a press fleet, but their demo cars that usually reside at the Experience Center in LA or at the Track Experience in Birmingham. So we had a couple 911s, Panamera GTS, a Boxster GTS, a couple Taycans, Macan 4S electric, and a Cayenne hybrid.
Nice.
Got to drive them around at, they claimed they were freeway speeds, and I think they were like, you might get a ticket freeway speeds, not go directly to jail freeway speeds.
Yeah, right.
But I think the event, we hosted the event. I think the drivers were really kind of almost the hosts. They did a really good job of, a lot of the people there have never been on a track. I have very limited experience with it. And to be able to take people out and show them what to do and say, leave 2 car lengths and hit the brakes really hard here so you can see what's going on. We got a lot of great feedback. So
Good.
pretty cool. I wish, and I think Ted does too, I wish we had more staff available for it because I think you could even elevate it more by showing people, what's going on inside the cars and not just having them go out and drive it.
Right.
And then there would have been people to work here also.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to interrupt real quick. We have a question from Stephen H.
okay.
What are the differences between the Classic Restoration Challenge categories in individualization, preservation, and restoration? How do you select the car and category for the challenge?
It's a great question. Look at those airplanes. That's kind of cool too.
What?
Yeah, there's some warbirds flying by.
Oh, yeah.
So Restoration, I think of as trying to take whatever you have and make it as close to it was when it left the factory as possible. You're restoring it to its former glory. So that could be painting it. It could be replacing parts. It could be tearing out the interior and doing a whole new interior. It could be all of those things. Just whatever you can do to bring it back to factory standards. I think preservation is trying to stop the aging process and represent the car as best it is as it's sitting right now. So maybe, mechanically restoring it, but leaving as much of the original parts as you could, where maybe if you were going to restore a car, you would replace all of the clamps, all the little O-rings and hose clamps and stuff like that.
Yep.
On a preservation car, you want to leave those. On a restoration car, you probably get a new VIN plaque. On a preservation, the VIN sticker or something like that, because you've stripped the car down to bare metal, painted it, and you put a new same number, hopefully, but you put a new sticker there, or even like the AC compressor information on the back of the car. You replace that. On a preservation car, you keep it. And then individualization is doing whatever you want to it. Using the Porsche as your own canvas and turning it in. Maybe you put 19-inch wheels on an 87 Carrera.
Right.
Or, maybe you hot rod the engine, swap the exhaust and put in some new seats.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just turn it into a stereo booth. That's what we should do. Make it like a bass test. Do you remember those things?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, take like a hearse.
Yeah.
And put like some, 62-inch subwoofer in
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, as far as how do we choose the car, it just kind of depends on what hits at the moment when we're trying to decide what we're going to do for the following year. And we've done the restoration and we've done preservation. We're actually doing preservation again this year, just because this amazing 993 Targa that came, it was a U.S. car, was taken to Germany, and then it was actually imported back into the States. And it's a 993 Targa, right? It was close enough to where it just needed some TLC to bring it back to life. It didn't need a full restoration. So anyway, this year we're in the preservation class again. The year that we did restoration, well, I guess we've done that a couple times, but the real big year that we did restoration was a 356A that has this amazing story and history right here in Colorado Springs. We kept that car as our own for a number of years, and then just decided that this car, it warranted, like it deserved restoration. It deserves to continue its life, for another 70 years. So, but it wasn't preservation at that point because the car looked like it had been painted with rollers, at some point.
And I think it had been.
It may have been at some point. So you're not preserving it, at that point because it was wrong. It was incorrect. And so we did a full restoration on that one. But yeah, that's a great question because, how do you choose that? We've never done the individualization. John's actually had some great ideas about individualization that we won't give out because we know some other listeners will take those ideas.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give it out since we haven't jumped on it yet. Maybe I can get somebody else to do it.
Yeah. But if you can make it to Works Reunion this year, please do. We highly encourage that. We'll have our 993 Target there, again, in the preservation class. Lots of documentation that goes with this car. Should be a really fun event. August
18th.
18th? It'll be nice. It'll be fun. Yeah, moving on. What were we talking about?
Well, new Cayenne. Teased.
Oh, yeah. The electric car.
Yeah. So
that's pretty big. That's big news.
Huge news. And what an interesting way to drop it.
Right.
So we've been anticipating that there's going to be an all-electric Cayenne variant coming on a new platform. I think the platform shared with the Macan Performance Platform Electric. It's just kind of the stretched and bigger version. I could be wrong because we don't know anything about it yet. But they entered it in what was the Scallywag Welsh hill climb?
Right, something like that.
Shelly.
Shelley. Yeah, Shelley Welsh. Shelley Walsh.
Shelly Walsh.
Yeah. Hill climb in England. And nobody knew. Like,
Right.
just here's our new Cayenne. We're gonna try to set a
record.
a SUV record up the hill. It's a small hill.
Yeah.
It's not like Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
No.
But it's a hill climb in Europe, and cars were doing what, like between 33 and 45 seconds to go up. The SUV record was 35 seconds.
By a Bentayga.
Yep. And the Cayenne did like a 31 and a half.
31.58.
Yeah. So
Yeah, pretty crazy.
that's going to be a cool thing. And what Lewis was saying is, what if that's the slow one?
Right.
What if that's not even the Turbo GT?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So kind of
And
cool.
it was Gabriella, I think it was the driver, and
Yeah.
I think I heard it say that where she's one of the Formula E
Oh, cool.
drivers for Porsche. So that's cool. I had the roof basket on top, which is pretty awesome. Like the same roof basket you see on a Dakar.
Yeah.
So that was pretty.
And it was
sweet.
ripping.
Oh, totally. If it had the roof basket on it, it wasn't even stripped for weight. Thing's kind of heavy.
Yep. They called Porsches porkers for a reason, right? Isn't that a term for them?
Sure. So that's exciting. I wonder if it's a 7-passenger.
No. That's coming next.
That's
Yeah, I think the K1.
the K1 project. Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be an interesting car for sure.
I want the 3-row. We talked about it a little bit last week, but Lewis and I got to go to the Rocky Mountain Press Association, Automotive Press Rocky Mountain Drive experience a couple weeks ago. And that we had, I think, the most fun in the 3-row electric Kia. Hyundai?
Hyundai Ioniq now.
Yeah. It's just hilarious. And same thing when we were out on the track. The Cayenne Hybrid Coupe, I had the most fun driving that because you've got this thing that is gigantic and shouldn't be doing what it's doing,
Right.
and yet you are. And I don't know. I think there's something really fun and exciting about driving big stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. I think we're all a little flat. Let's see. Next Wednesday,
Oh yeah.
we have our giant, because we're not stretched thin enough. We're doing our big Pikes Peak Hill Climb drivers meeting.
Meet and greet.
It's Wednesday the 18th also.
Yep. Wednesday the 18th from 5:30 to 7:30
Yep.
is the official show time. That's
Drivers
going to be
start
cool.
talking at 6.
Yeah. Yep. That's when Jeff Swart, the MC of the event, he'll get things kicked off for the kind of interview process with the drivers. Should be some super cool race cars. Not everybody on the panel is driving for Porsche Colorado Springs. There's some other people that are involved. I'm excited to see some of the cars that show up for the race cars.
Yeah, I hope Donner brings his.
I hope so too.
I think that'd be neat.
Sounded like that was a definite possibility. But there's some cool stuff. Don Wickstrom, the fastest passenger, bringing his LMP3 car.
Yep.
And then I'm not sure. Hopefully it works out. But Lance, his car is at the body shop being repaired because he did have an incident at practice one day. But it sounds like all the parts and stuff arrived. And so the body shop, they needed to be done with their end of things today. And then I think it's BMW. Yeah, BMW would be able to finish the rest from
Is that
there.
the M2?
I think so.
Oh wow, that thing
Number
sounds
1,
good.
right? Lance Fenderson.
Yeah. Paraplegic driver.
Oh, wow.
Has some hand controls. Young guy. How old is he?
23.
Yeah. I believe he's supposed to be here for the event, talking, that's super awesome. I mean, what a story he's got. Amelia Hartford, driving the GT4 RS Club
Yeah,
Sport.
we might even get to talk to her
That's right.
before
Yeah,
the thing.
Do a show with Amelia before the show, before the event. That's pretty awesome. David Donner, David Donahue, again, Don Wickstrom.
Romain Dumas.
Romain Dumas, yeah. Obviously, Jeff Swart, Fred Veach.
Kathy Mead.
Kathy, is she going to be here?
I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, Kathy Mead would be great. Yeah, no, it's a good list. It's a great list. You know, there was a good question that was asked earlier by a guy that called. Anyway, said he didn't know about the driver's meet and greet, and he said, "How would someone know about this?" I said, "Well, through social media, email blasting." And this is a guy that I've known him for a long time, but he's never been a customer here at this store, just based on location, all that stuff. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, how do we reach all those people?
I don't know.
So anyway, he brought up kind of an interesting, you're not going to be able to notify everybody, right? But anyway, made me think about it because he's a Porsche guy that's been around a long time, and he's not that far away. So, I guess
Maybe we should take an ad out in Panorama
that could be
the month before.
right. Yeah, that could be.
Let's do that.
Maybe all the Porsche stuff. 356 registry.
Yeah.
They've been super helpful, like with our swap meets, things like that.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
Yeah. We'll put it on the calendar. 'Cause
I know
yeah.
that gave me a thought, and then it just went right out of my head. Oh yeah, Lewis has been working on a predictions list.
Okay.
So I can't believe that you mentioned Lance, and then Lewis knew his first name, last name, and how old he was.
Right.
So he has been investing some time in just getting to know the drivers and the cars and things like that. So I think we should do Lewis, do you have the list with you?
I have what times I think they'll get. I don't have set up for what place I think they'll get.
Okay, that's fine. Let's pick. Do you have 10?
I've got
That you-
15.
Can you give me 10?
Yep.
Let's do a Lewis's top 10 list of potential times for the Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
Wow.
He's been testing cars in Forza Horizon 5. He built Zwart's car.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of it.
And even gave it a full livery. It looks just like the Mobile One BBI Porsche Colorado Springs car. So well done there. But based on that testing, we have some predictions.
All right. So in first place, I have Romain Dumas with his 2025 Ford Mach-E demonstrator.
Okay.
I think he will get around an 8 flat to an 820.
Okay.
Simone Fugoli.
What's the record?
The record is 757.
Okay. So you don't think he can quite clip that this year, but he's going to get close.
I think they're going to get close enough. And then
That's
next year, they're just going to have to.
That's the fastest time ever.
757.
Wow.
Yep.
Simone Fugoli is driving a 2018 Nova Proto NP01 Bard Hall.
Sounds impressive.
Right. Right.
Weighs 1,350 pounds.
Wow.
Has around 500 horsepower.
Ooh.
I have him timed at an 820 to an 830. In his rookie year, he's one of only 2 drivers to do a sub 9 minute in their rookie year.
Wow.
Him and Sebastian Loeb when he set the
Oh,
when he
right.
had
Yeah.
the record run in 2013.
All right.
Wow.
So that could be a fight
Yeah.
because Romain and Robin Shute both say a super lightweight,
Yeah.
properly set up gas car could still take the record back.
Right.
I have him timed at an 820 to 830,
Okay.
just based on his last times. I don't know how this one does. I haven't seen him on the mountain yet.
Okay.
So, Robin Shute with his 1967 Chevrolet Camaro built by Dussault Designs. I think it's got 1,300 horsepower.
Okay.
Shoots flames while idling. I think that's going to get an 825 to 845 around that
Wow.
range.
Okay.
In a Camaro.
He's trying to break the rear wheel drive record. He will not. Simone Fugoli will. He's
Okay.
going to break his own record.
Okay.
I think David Donner in the 2025
The sheep in wolf clothing.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
the 2025 Wolf Arobe GB08.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to get second with an 810 to around 820.
Holy moly.
You think there are going to be some flying times?
Woo.
Again, that's very light
yeah.
and it has a lot of power.
Yeah, I get it.
And David Donner would admit that he's not a spring chicken.
No, he's a sheep. I don't mean anything negative by that. We were just coming up with funny terms.
Yeah.
I don't know how many I'm at yet. Jeff Swart, 1997 Porsche 911 Carrera. I have around 9:30 to 9:45.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be the fastest time, but it's going to be a quick one. Dan Novembre in a 2013 Wolf GBOAS TC Special.
Ooh.
He, I think he's going to get a 925 to 940. It has 2 motorcycle engines combined to make a V8, I'm pretty sure.
One of those Hayabusa V8 things. All right. Cool.
Wow.
Cody Vaschholz in the 2013 Ford Open Vaschholz Special. I think a 920 to 940 is a pretty good assumption. David Donahue with your guys' car, 2016 Porsche 911 Turbo S, 920 to 950.
Okay.
It drives.
It's driving today.
It's driving.
Yep.
Then I think Lonnie Unser is going to be my final.
Wow.
945 to 950.
Good job.
Yep.
I think that's everyone.
That's a good.
Well, I've got others. Just those are the ones worth mentioning.
I think the one I am most surprised with is your prediction for Donner's Wolf. I mean, that thing looks wicked.
It does look wicked.
but-
It's a 4-cylinder turbocharged car.
Yeah.
I mean, it weighs nothing.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly everything about it.
That's yeah. Hopefully that's here for our.
Oh
Wednesday.
God, yeah, that car looks so good, and it like showed up in a crate.
Right.
Did you see that?
No.
All right. So it weighs 1,800 pounds, has a 2-liter engine. The frame is custom and additional info overhead cam turbo. That's all I know.
Okay.
I think it has V6 or something. Or
4-cylinder. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Lewis said he might do the pit walk with me
Good.
in your stead. So
Good. Yeah, that'll be fun.
he knows enough.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. He'll know who these people are.
Yeah, I recognize them. No, that's great. I think those are some pretty good predictions. And we have it recorded so we can go
I
back.
know. We can figure out how close you were.
Right.
I've got it on my notes app.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. That is Lewis's top 10
All right.
for the 103rd running of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
Yeah. There you go. We really haven't been able to stretch this one out very far, have we?
Yeah, I can't see the time.
It's not enough. Maybe we should get to business. Do we have any business?
Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been super busy lately. We constantly get asked that question, right? Do you get asked that question every
Yeah.
How's business? Good.
Yep.
Business kind of it's kicking tail right now.
It's the 13th of the month, and I am a car ahead of all of last month. So,
Good deal.
yep, it's going okay.
And I think last month you didn't sell a car before the 13th.
I did. I sold one on the 1st, and then I didn't sell anything
Right.
until the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, business has been really great. I'm trying to think of new acquisitions. Oh, the Mercedes.
I took
came
in
yesterday.
a C63S,
That's pretty cool.
beautiful blue.
Yeah.
It's the big motor thing, like 503 horsepower, I want to say, something like that.
So big long 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
Just a cool sporty swanky car.
And it's the sporty one. It's not like the S-Class coupes used to be where they were just huge. This is like an M3 competitor kind of thing. Yeah, really like it. Yeah, I guess if you pull a paddle while you are starting it, it starts in angry mode and it goes like
Really?
Yeah, it's the
I gotta
annoy
try
your neighbors startup.
I gotta try that.
You should.
Trying to think what else has come in. It just feels like the lot keeps like pulsating. It grows, it shrinks, it grows, it shrinks, it grows, it shrinks, and it's growing now.
Yep.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know. Like you mentioned the week's been a little bit of a crazy week, so it's hard to keep track of some of that stuff. But doing checks, doing lot walks, seeing what's out there. There's an X1. It's not really worth talking about. There's a Q5. That's
That
not worth
was
talking about.
one of my favorite cars I've ever owned.
The X1.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad looking car. I haven't been able to get in it to really know enough about it, but
It's a 2-liter, 240 horsepower turbocharged engine, ZF 8-speed transmission.
wow.
That's an X-Drive, so it's all-wheel drive, based on the E46 3 Series platform. So that was like the M3 everybody loves from 05-ish. They took that generation of 3 Series wagon, lifted it, built a little bit bigger body on it, and then updated it. It came out in Europe in, I think, like 9 or 10, and then didn't make it to the States until 2013.
I thought it was 11.
Yeah, it could be. And then, yeah, great car. Just, a fun, small, slightly lifted wagon.
Right.
And the newer ones are based on the Minis, where they're a front-wheel drive architecture with power that goes to the back. This was a rear-wheel drive architecture that sent power also up to the front. So they were playful. So I'd buy one again. If you got a kid going to college, I think something like that would be perfect. It's got 70-some thousand miles on it, I think. And being a hatch, you can load it up with all the stuff, modern enough where it's got, side impact airbags and good traction control and ABS settings and stuff like that. No big screen in it,
Yeah, right.
just Bluetooth. So,
Yeah. Or if you want to send your kid to Ivy League school, you help take a 2024 911 Carrera 4S Cabriolet with about 2,000 miles on it, white with black interior. We actually sold that car once before, like a couple months ago. And then, anyway, wanted to. It's the person that traded that in, that bought it from us a little while ago. Super fun, right?
Yep.
I mean, guy went from his first Porsche car ever was, what was it? It was less than 6 months ago, and now he's on his third.
yeah. Yep.
Man, he's hooked.
Yeah, keep that guy close.
Yeah, he's addicted. He's addicted. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's been pretty fun. But no, that's a nice car. It's I want to say it's got still less than 2,000 miles on it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then Spider RS, the white.
Yep. Did we talk about that last week?
Did we?
I don't know. White with all the stuff you want.
Yeah.
It's like the
Weissach.
yeah, buckets, front lift, ceramics, LED lights.
I'm trying to think what's happening in the world of new cars being shipped.
I have a car that landed in Houston without a name on it, that I put a name on, that has now been released for transport.
Oh, wow.
It has not been affected by any tariff. It is not on a truck yet, but close.
Yeah.
I've got some ordered cars that are shipping. There's still a lot of cars we have that are at port in Houston and haven't been released yet. So.
I thought I saw some news about, gosh, I got to read more.
Yeah.
Like for me in emails, if it's greater than 2 or 3 sentences, I move on.
Yeah.
So I'll read the first 2 or 3 sentences and then scroll right to the next. But I did see there was some chatter that had to do, which was inevitable, right? With Porsche not sending new cars to the States, just kind of keeping them at port, it's gonna fill up.
Yeah. No, they can't.
And then we can't keep them here anymore, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that there's something in the works as far as starting to send cars here, but I don't know the full details of it. But it sounds good. I mean, that's great. I think that's a good thing because on the new car side of things, right, inventory is being depleted because what's here on the ground now, isn't affected by any tariff charges that there could be. So that's pretty hot. That's a great opportunity, to pick up a new. They've been selling really well, right? So sports cars, we do have a couple sports cars. We've got a couple Cayennes, I think. We've got some Macans left. We even have a couple electric Macans. So that's nice.
No, that's a good point. We were stocked, and now we're dwindling.
Right.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to need, to be replenished here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I think, whatever they've got in the works, that's good. So hopefully we'll see some stuff, some additional cars land here pretty soon. In the world of Porsche in general, we talked about the electric Cayenne that was kind of a sneak little venture, a hill climb, potentially releasing some more cars to the States, which is fun. What else is new? Any developments that you're aware of, Lewis?
Other than the RSP, but that came out last week.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
It is and it isn't. They just had the Top Gear, and I think a couple outlets got a chance to drive it. Who's the awesome guy from Haggerty? There's a few of them, but anyway, some people got to drive it, and it's just a race car with headlights,
Right.
so and leather interior.
Leather
So
interior.
I was on initial tip, I was a little bummed that there was only going to be one and no one was going to be able to buy it. On second thought, I don't know that that was the right Halo car for us to release anyway.
Okay.
So I got to tip to the Porsche people and say props for doing it. I think I'm okay with it only being a one-off. And then now let's launch the hypercar at Quail
Yeah, that'd be cool.
so we can see it.
That'd be
right?
pretty cool.
We need to know about that.
Do you still have speculation on what it is?
Now my mind's just blown out. I don't know. I think the thoughts on it being some kind of Lamborghini Temerario based thing could make sense, but I don't think it's special enough.
No.
I think that could be a tier above a 911, but I don't think it goes all the way to Halo car.
Sure. Okay.
Because we actually, on the way back from the press drive, saw a Temerario testing with some Audis.
oh, sure.
And we were thinking maybe that's the new R8.
Bring in the R8 back.
Yeah, and it's got the Temerario body on it, but it's got Audi other things under the skin.
Would they only, go away, or at least, my brain's not working. They stopped making the R8 in 24.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds right.
So would they only do a 1 year gap?
Sure.
You think
Why
so?
not? Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty big celebration when the last R8 rolled off the assembly line.
Yeah.
I think that was like the last of that platform.
Okay.
Maybe that. And then the next one's going to be a completely different thing. It's going to be an R8. Could be under a different name. It's like the R8 for Audi, but it's something else.
Hybrid drive?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like how they had the Huracan and the Gallardo. But now it's the Temerario. Maybe it was like
Yeah.
all R8 and then something new.
I think it's an R8 and I think it's a 27 model year.
Okay.
I would
So,
say end of 26.
yeah, 27 model year.
Yep.
So that
That's
okay.
that's
so
a good gap.
That's 2 years, 2 full years gap.
Yep.
I don't know. It'd be cool. It'd be interesting. I like the R8s.
Yeah, they're great.
We have the two here. We have a Spider and a Coupe.
Yeah.
I really do believe. I mean, that's the daily drivable supercar. It looks cool, right? I mean, it's got the sex appeal going on.
Yeah,
right?
I was talking to a guy today about it and how there's not a lot of cars that aren't Porsches that really fit with us. But R8s seem to.
Yeah.
They've got the build quality and the materials and the performance levels and the usability that seems to fit with our clientele.
Yeah.
Where, maybe Ferraris and Lambos just don't quite.
Yeah.
Same thing McLarens. I don't know that people shop here for a McLaren.
Right. Brenner's mentioned it a few times. One reason that people like 911 so much or Porsches is because they smile at you, right? The car smiles at you.
So does that.
Yeah, right. A little bit. Whereas in some car companies get so wrapped up in the aggressive, like angry, frowny face look or whatever.
Yep.
where do you think the Audi fits in with that? Because I identify the R8. That's a very recognizable car, just like a 911.
Yep.
It's a thumbs up car, not a your number one
Yeah.
car.
No, I agree.
So yeah, I think I think that car has done a really, really good job, for what they set out to do with it.
I do have another question. What is the state of 718 allocations from Stephen H?
We're in the maybe state.
Yeah, definite maybe.
Boxster or Cayman GTS, I think is, if you called me tomorrow, I think there's a strong maybe. An S or a 4-cylinder, I think is a medium maybe. A Spider or a 4RS is in the I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
They're very, very nearing the end. But yeah, if you want one, call us. We'll do everything we can to get one here and find it.
Yeah, Spider and 4RS. I mean, I think just take a look at what we got now.
Yep.
And then that way you can actually still have some time to drive it
Yep.
in the summertime. Yeah. See what's available now. Maybe. It's a maybe.
Yeah, it's a maybe, and it shows up in October.
Yeah.
So
Which if you're in Florida,
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. No, it's good though. I mean, that's a great point to bring up because, with Porsche, we've been saying it for a while, but now Porsche.
I think we've been saying it for a year. We've been trying to prepare people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here we are.
Yeah.
These are the last of them, I'm actually even I found myself starting to write that in some of the descriptions of these cars in, the last of the 718, gas engine cars. Yeah. I mean, it's here. It's happening.
Yep.
So, which is a bummer, on one hand. It's also kind of exciting on the other.
Everything moves forward.
Yeah.
I think as much as I agree with people that think the only real 911 is the 901, what if we were still making that?
Yeah.
You'd have this silly little, way wrong engined car with 130 horsepower.
Yeah.
And a clunky manual. And that doesn't compete with stuff today.
Yeah.
So you got to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited for our electric overlords to come through.
Right.
It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they'll be sweet.
Yeah. We drove, I honestly, that Jeep that we drove, the Wagoneer S, I think they just had the throttle programmed wrong and they should have just eased. They need more of a delay in opening the circuits as you go to full throttle. But if you just stomp it, it just goes whoop. If you're doing 30,
right,
it back end squirts a little bit and then you go. And that's just awesome. So put that in a little sports car and I'm in.
No, that's pretty fun.
Ivan Flitcroft. Hello from the UK.
Hey, Ivan.
Ivan, how the hell did you find us?
Yeah. What time of the morning is it?
Yeah, right? And also thanks for listening. But
yeah, no doubt.
man,
that's awesome.
Somebody's algorithm is way off. They heard us talking about Shriever Welshville. What was it? And pumped it up.
Yeah, Swigglyville. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ivan, thanks.
We're in Colorado Springs if you didn't have any idea how you found us. Right. But thanks for tuning in. If you want to come to our hill climb event, it's a real hill. It's a mountain.
Yeah.
And it's on Wednesday, the 18th. So let me know. I'll get you picked up from the Denver airport.
Yeah. That reminds me. Michelle Mouton's coming to town for it.
For sure. Oh, she'll be at our meeting, right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. 100% definitely.
Yeah. Maybe.
She was just inducted into the Hall of Fame for Pikes Peak.
what kind of Ivan says we randomly appeared on his home feed, and he has no idea how we found us.
It's
12:30. Yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So,
Don't ask.
all right. Well,
Wow.
if you're a Porsche fan,
Are you in a pub?
yeah.
I really hope you're in a
Wow.
pub.
Thanks for saving the show, by the way. You just
Yeah.
injected us with some energy.
All right.
Remember when Lupe was on and like we got 5,000 concurrent watchers?
Yeah.
From, I don't remember where they're from. There's like Jakarta
Yeah,
or something
right,
like that.
right. Yeah.
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 Weird.
Man, all I can think of is Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Maybe we could go over there and do a sabbatical and learn how to sell Porsches in the UK.
I think they would want to come over here and learn how we do it.
Foreign exchange program. Right?
Yeah.
Go try that.
That's cool. No, that's awesome. That's super cool. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
He has no idea.
YouTube just broke. That's what happened there.
A glitch.
But we're glad to have you.
Little glitch.
Past 2:29 a.m.
Right? That's pretty special.
Yeah.
I really don't know what else I have though. We've only been on for 40 minutes.
Oh man.
This has been the struggle bus is coming. Let's see. There's just
There's I don't know. It's hard to explain, but there's just so much that's happening that has happened already and then is about to happen, right? So we're not even quite halfway through the month, right? And look what's happened so far. Multiple track. Is there any way that we can put on the lady's reaction?
Oh
to-
yeah, that's what I did. Good point. The whole title of this episode.
Are we? Can you share your camera?
Don't need to. What are you doing?
No, I want to show it to.
No, I can play it. We can.
But can we play it on YouTube?
Yeah,
Well, we need your camera.
I know I'm doing it. Here you go. Display.
I got it.
Good.
Display one. Okay, don't put it live
Okay.
yet. There you go.
All right. Oh, now it's live.
Okay, you got it? All right, so this was at our track day. After the evening session got done, we still had a little bit of track time left, and they still had some tires left on the cars. And the drivers were sick of driving around at 30 miles an hour all day, so they said, we'll do some hot laps. And so this was after one of our clients got back from her hot laps.
Nice.
You were gonna go 2 or 3 more times. That was the best patch I've had in 20 years.
Best passenger I've had in 20 years. I think the tire marks and burnout marks probably explain a lot of that. So
Can you play it again?
I can put it on loop. Yeah. Should we bounce it?
Bong.
You're gonna go 2 or 3 more times. That was the best patch I've had in 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a really good laugh.
That's awesome.
That's a
yeah.
good laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Lewis, you can
That's
kill it.
That's a happy laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited. That's not a scared one. That's a good one. But I had multiple people tell me, after that, where the drivers would come back to the dealership each day just
Yeah.
to kind of hang out for a little bit. And yeah, I had at least 4 people tell me that story there. Probably because they know that I know who that is. And so said that, that driver said that's probably the best passenger, best hot lap
Yep.
passenger I've had in
Yeah.
20 years.
That's Eric. He's one of the lead drivers. He's kind of in charge of the whole program. So good dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. Ivan's off to bed, but he subscribed and he says we're funny.
That's
So
awesome.
it's good to know that our humor translates across the pond. Right?
Like and subscribe. Smash the subscribe. Smash
Yeah,
that
smash
button.
that bell.
That's awesome, Ivan. We will
Slap
look
the
you up.
bell.
Yep.
That's pretty funny. That's really cool.
It's so awesome that the world is this small at this point. I feel like unless the Middle East explodes, like in the next couple months, or AI takes over, I feel like the internet and human population should be at a good. We're at a good spot.
Yeah.
Like we just got to get everybody plugged into the internet, so we can all, chat with our nerdy selves.
Right.
So we can all tune in to the First Dibs podcast.
Pretty much.
That's
yeah.
right.
We need some live stream revenue here.
Right. Yeah. What was that? Just totally put something in my head. Oh, we just got a new tool sponsor with our hill climb effort.
I need tools.
Yeah, me too. And
Is it
Star Willy? Star Weil.
cool?
Star Willy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's German.
Yeah.
I think they also make Hazit is another brand. But anyway, I saw the box that was delivered and set up in the back. Super cool stuff. And actually, the guy that kind of got this partnership rolling, he put the box together and everything for it. And then because of my background, like being the mechanic, I've got a very large toolbox. I'm still completely full, and he knows this. And so he said, "Here, he goes. This is a difference maker for you." He hands me a 32 millimeter combination wrench. Okay, so it's yay long, and it's got a 32 millimeter open head on this end,
Okay.
and a 32 millimeter box end on this end. Hands it to me. It's a third of the weight of a typical
Wow.
32 millimeter combination wrench.
Wow.
Not kidding. A third.
Titanium?
No.
Aluminum?
I think it's aluminum, but they do some other cool tricks. It probably doesn't clean up as easily as like a Snap-on tool.
Yeah,
That's
the chrome.
That's something that Snap-on, was, I believe in their history, was kind of a mistake, or at least like an accident on that whole polishing process. But anyway, that's unbelievable. And I mean, when you're wrenching on a car all day, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Right. Swinging around. It's like carpenters, swinging around hammers and stuff. Like there's weights of hammers for, advantage. And then there's like, oh my gosh, like my arm's going to fall off.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's too much. No, it's little things like that really add up and make a difference. And no, I'm pretty sure I knew about this company a long time ago, but it's kind of foreign to me, so I didn't really put some time into it. But now that we actually have a little bit of a demonstration box here, this is some cool stuff. Super cool stuff.
Wonder if they need a podcast.
They do. Actually, I think they're going to eventually partner with every car that we support.
Great.
Yeah, that's one of the proposals.
Yeah.
And then get this. What if they turned our entire Motorsports Classic shop into a demonstration room?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what else would make a great demonstration room? First Tips podcast, live from inside Porsche Colorado Springs.
Right.
You know what we're going to be doing next week? We're going to be fixing live on air a 911 Turbo Targa.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what I don't have? Well, I have one pretty awesome Phillips head screwdriver. Have you seen that thing? The back slides out and you can spin it.
No.
I'll go grab that in a second. And I have a Porsche leather-bound toolkit.
That's come in pretty
Missing
dang handy
no pieces
yet
yet.
that you're aware of.
If I can find the screwdriver. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably enough to get this work done. But maybe we're going to have to do an engine out service on that Ferrari behind us next week.
Right.
Tech Corner here at the First Dibs podcast could definitely use. We could put the roller toolbox right behind us, and
If I'm producing,
yeah, this would be great. We could roll. What else could you put in that toolbox?
There are a couple empty drawers for expansion.
Is one of them a humidor? Because we probably could use a humidor.
You could make one.
Yep, let's make one a humidor, and then what are those watch spinny things? We could have,
Watch winders.
yeah, let's get a watch winder drawer. Right?
that are
You heard it here first.
But then the humidor would just rust out the watch winders.
Put them on separate sides. They'd be neighbors, not over under side by side.
Right.
in a townhouse.
How do you,
Yeah.
we need to figure out how to pronounce it properly. I apologize. I think, is it Stallwilly? Stawille? I think Stallwill.
Stout-willed
Yeah, something like
means strong built. in German.
Strong like bull.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're gonna delete the last few minutes of this show and re-record it after we figure out how you actually pronounce these things.
It's cool stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That sounds awesome.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see where that partnership heads out. What time are we at, Lewis?
51.6.
All right, we're getting pretty close.
We have been stretching the hell out of this no content episode.
So yes, I think the big items to come up is you're absolutely right. This next Wednesday is our largest event of the year, the Pikes Peak International High Hill Climb Drivers Meet and Greet. That actually started here back in 2011, I think is what it was. But they were doing it inside, and there would be a few, like Porsche Club people or whatever show up. And there was a couple drivers just talking about their experience, and they stayed inside for a number of years, for a long time, for call it the next 10 years. And then during COVID, they still did the race, just with some different kind of rules.
Yep.
And then we still did a driver's meet and greet. However, it wasn't open
It was just
to the public.
televised.
Yeah, and they did it in the service drive. I think
Facebookized.
Yeah, Facebook, something like that. They did it in the service drive, so there was no one allowed to come except for the people.
I wonder if we should live stream it
We've talked. Yes, we absolutely we should
because we've got all the equipment.
We should. We totally should.
We just need to figure out how to put their soundboard into this soundboard, and I think we can do it.
We can do it.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
And so what happened? I think after. There was the initial COVID thing, and then the next one, Colorado Springs, the city hosts Fan Fest.
Yes.
Well, they weren't doing that because of the COVID restrictions, things like that. And so Joe and our GM and some others decided, well, let's do Porsche Colorado Springs Fan Fest, which meant we can do it outside.
Let's go get everybody sick.
If we're not inside, If we're not inside, we could kind of do what we wanted.
Yep.
So decided, well, let's take a chance, do it outside, see if anyone shows up. We had 600 people, show up to this thing. It was amazing. It was, I think it was more than, what was expected. And then it was just instantly decided, that night saying, well, obviously we got to continue this. You have to keep going. And so it has grown. And this year with the drivers that will be here and just known, presence of it, I'm expecting again somewhere between 800 to 1,000 people, to show up to this event.
Yep.
And then you say, where do 1,000 people go? Altogether, I want to say we're near a 12-acre campus when you take into consideration the Power Sports store. Now, granted, the Power Sports store, most of its lot is now kind of lease space, for a parking lot, which makes a little bit of a difference. But if you take that out, we've got a legit, 5 acres of campus space here, or somewhere about in that range. You can fit a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things here. So I'm super excited for that. It'll be a really fun day, and then it's full prep for the actual race happening on the 22nd. And let's not forget this weekend, Father's Day. So for all the dads, that are listening, John, again, happy early Father's Day. But for all the dads out there that are listening, happy early Father's Day. It should be a really cool, beautiful Sunday this weekend. Then come down for our drivers meet and greet, and then the following Sunday is
the race.
Actual race on the 22nd.
Yep. We will be camped out just after the start gate. We kind of go around that first corner up into the woods and lay down a bunch of chairs. So
I feel like we should go further up this year because we're going to be down in the forest because they bring us
keep
back
moving
so
it back.
far.
It's true.
So I think we should move up.
Okay, so we might be further up. We're going to make Lewis pull the wagon full of chairs because that's usually what decides where we end is when I'm like, I'm not going down that hill and back up that one.
Right.
I'm just going to stop here.
Right.
So, all right, good enough. 5 minutes early.
That's all right. Because we went
deep last week.
really deep
That's
last
true.
week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it, Lewis?
I think so.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to sign us off?
How do I do that?
I don't know, say something about the First Dibs podcast and how you're Lewis, I'm John, and that's Justin.
My name's Lewis. Those are two buffoons. And this is the First